life as you know it, once a little person is put in, definitely changes everything for you.
That's what I mean. That's what's so fascinating about the title is that it could be "Life as We Know It Is Over," or "Life as We Know It Has Changed," "Life as We Know It is done." You know, because it's sort of the beginning of all of those sentences, and that is the reality of the movie. Life as these two characters know it is pretty much over, but turns out to be a beautiful thing and not a terrible thing.
Right. Because like you said, you start out and you two, you know, it starts out showing how your friends actually tried to hook you guys up.
Didn't go so well.
Didn't work. Didn't work.
I think we should just agree right now that that is entirely your character's fault. I mean, he showed up an hour late. He was rude and took a booty call. Right? Like I think I was. I think my character was nice. It was a bit controlling, but nice.
Yeah.
Remember, there was one thing that they took out that I was hoping that they were going to keep. Is that when you're like, I'm starving. It's like, oh, I just ate, but I guess we could go grab some food. Show up an hour late and having already eaten before the dinner.
Oh, it was horrible.
That wouldn't have surprised me. But yeah, I'll admit that I probably was a little out of line for our first date.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like you said, the motorcycle, you're wearing kind of like the short skirt, and it's like, it's not going to...
Yeah, that dress didn't even have any elasticity. I mean, there was nothing to do about it, so...
Did you plan it that way? Did you guys put that wardrobe like that just because it would be hard to get
No,
on?
you know what? Originally in the script, it was just that she's just not cool with riding a motorcycle, but once I was dressed and I had heels on the whole thing, I was like, well, it's just also very terribly impractical. Like, she can't get on this thing in this dress.
Yeah, I mean, there would have been no classy way for her to, like... no.
For a little angle of it. No.
And then next thing you know, because of unfortunate circumstances, you guys are put together and have to make some changes. Because I thought about, like, even for your character, I mean, here's a guy, he's working in sports, which is kind of like the ultimate goal for any guy. You know, like, I've got this job in sports.
If I weren't doing this, I would want to be doing that.
Yeah. And next thing you know, something even comes up great for him, and it's like, nuts. What do I do?
Well, that's the rub, because I don't like any guy who's got the life that he thought he wanted. This baby throws a serious wrench in that, and part of the problems that they have is that she's not going to give up certain things either. She's much more sort of evolved and schedule oriented than I am. I can't just go do what I want to do anymore. I really have to plan things out, and that's not an easy thing to come to terms with.
For most men.
Yes.
I don't know any man who could do that.
But then, I think that after a while he figures out that this isn't such a burden. It's also a blessing. As much a burden, it's also a blessing. So
I think there's that really beautiful beat too when he comes to the Thanksgiving dinner and he goes to say goodbye to Sophie because he knows it's not going to work and he has to leave and she's crying and you see immediately why the sacrifice is worth it to miss her. You know, you see why it's because he loves her and she loves him and needs him, and it's the same relationship for him. And you know, that's I thought a really powerful moment, because it's not just about doing the right thing and making the right choice on behalf of your dead friend. It's also because you have a real investment in this child.
Right, and that's ultimately why they chose us to begin with.
Right.
I mean, you're a much more suited parent than I think my character is in the beginning, but I think that they knew that I loved I loved this kid, and they hoped that at some point I would, evolve into a passable parent.
Right. But even Holly is actually really self-absorbed and really self-focused on her goals, and maybe she's more equipped in an organizational way to take care of a baby, but she isn't emotionally. She's still so focused on her restaurant, so focused on expanding her business. That whole speech to the social worker, she completely forgets to mention, her 5-year plan for the baby, and that too is a big part of becoming a parent, is setting a lot of yourself, your goals, your ambitions aside to focus on this tiny little being and get them going where they need to go first.
Right.
There is an issue that we didn't really address in the movie too, is that she may have a possible drinking problem.
Holly?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We didn't delve into that.
She's an aggressive drunk.
Yeah, aggressive. Really aggressive and angry. Really angry.
That's part 2. So looking
life
forward
as
to
we know it.
And can't remember. Life as we know it and can't remember.
Yeah.
Shot in Detroit. Guys, a pleasure seeing you. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Good to see you. We didn't even let you ask a question.
Oh, that's